Hey there, kids. It's me, Oni the Unicorn. And I'm here to tell you that f***ing your dreams ain't cheap. In fact, it costs a ton of cash to do. So that's why me and the Ohno radio show need your help. Just go to the website displayed below and hit us up with some cash, yo. $1, $5, $1 million if you have it to spare. Any amount is appreciated. Well, I gotta go because these dreams ain't gonna fuck themselves. See ya!
Yes, welcome back to another edition of the Ohno Wrestling Podcast. My name is Owen. I am the Sharp Break Kid, and of course, just to guys let you know, if you just in case you haven't forgotten, make sure you haven't forgotten, I'm also the predictions champion of the world, and I'm damn proud of it. I mean, I've been carrying this belt around. I mean, it's light as a feather, boys. I'm loving it. It's
been carrying it around the house.
Oh yeah, been carrying
it. Featherweight.
Yeah.
Featherweight champion.
Well, hey. I'm pretty damn competitive. And when I win, I like to make sure that other people know that I'm this competitive and that they will lose to me again and again and again and again. Like, this reign will never end. This is a permanent thing. So all of you guys out there, you need to know that.
You've got some backlash coming your way.
Oh, some backlash. Yeah. We'll talk a little bit about.
Did you see what I did there?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Like yeah. WWE should probably.
You've got two. There's two events this month.
Oh fuck.
Or this coming month in May. So.
That is true.
Yeah, WrestleMania Backlash.
I mean, I don't know. He defended it. He won it and defended it, on 3 separate accounts, in the course of 36 hours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's where he's pumping himself up. He's not scared.
Don't give him. Why are you giving him credit?
Well, because
why are you trying to validate his arguments?
I'm just letting him get cocky because that's what got me. I got real cocky towards the end of my run, which was real long. I would like to remind you. You probably haven't forgotten.
Well.
It's kind of like a Roman Reigns run. I was on God mode for a minute.
Yeah, but look, I think what you're forgetting to realize is that you've got the R-truth. It's not about the length. It's about the amount.
Ah, yes. That is it. Guys, those other two people that you're hearing, not only do we have the one and only Duncan, King of Bong Style.
Boom. You goddamn right.
We also have our good friend, the modern day Maharaja Matthew, at his place in Denver for once, not live from a hotel. Not live.
Almost forgot what it looked like.
Yeah.
Dude, I forgot what it looked like.
Yeah.
You're like, I have stuff here. This is awesome.
I actually had to plug a cable into the microphone because I moved some things around.
I had to do a load in 4-hour mini.
Yeah. I'll invoice me that, please. Invoice me that.
Right.
Yeah. No, so I would. It's not been like the busiest of busy wrestling weeks, but there's still plenty to talk about, and so. I definitely want to hit on some very specific things. And the first thing is we were talking a little bit, of course, before the show, we were catching up, and I said, I don't want to hit you with this before the show to let you know what we're going to talk about, right? Like, I want your reaction to be live, genuine, first time you're hearing this kind of
raw
question.
Raw.
Going raw with
it,
it, baby. And And it's a simple one, and it all is based around an interview that one Cody Rhodes did. I forget which. This was on a podcast or a radio show. I forget which one it was. I read the transcript, didn't listen to it because don't really care. But he very specifically says, and he said this a couple of times, and he said this to Vince McMahon, I believe, even when they met for negotiations, that he truly believes that he is the best wrestler in the world. That he trains like an NFL athlete would for, to keep in peak physical condition, to keep in peak ring condition. And he believes he is the best professional wrestler in the world. What do you guys say to that?
I think he's a good one. He can train. He's a really good pro wrestler. I don't think he's the best in the world.
It's a bold claim.
Maybe the most talked. Maybe the most talked about right now.
It's a bold claim. Also, all right, let's say he is the best wrestler in the world as of 2022.
As of April 2022, this month, he's the best professional wrestler in the world, perhaps.
Right. So, but even his negotiations with Vince, right? Like he would have said that to Vince probably back in like February.
It was around February. Yeah, I think that was.
I would say, put the little caveat on there of in 2022, who is the best wrestler in the world?
And this is the question. Up to this point in what is it? 4/19/2022.
Right, bruh.
So yeah.
So who else?
Who is? Because it can't be Kenny. It can't be Kenny Omega.
Can't be Kenny.
He's out.
It's not Okada. Okada hasn't been having banger matches over in Japan. I guess you could say Ospreay's had some.
I think Ospreay would. I think Ospreay would be a challenger. Would you put a Roman Reigns on the list of that?
No, I would just like moveset wise.
And I agree with you.
And storytelling in the ring.
I think some can. I think there's some argument to be made that he is the most popular, the biggest attraction in the biggest company in the world. Therefore, that definitely makes him the best professional wrestler in the world. Because
sense. Was Hulk Hogan ever the best wrestler?
Worker.
Not worker.
Said best professional. Wrestler.
So are we just saying like most popular then?
Yeah, I don't. Well, no, because
I don't know. Roman it depends on how you define this and how Cody defines this.
It's subjective, right? Correct. It's like art.
Yeah.
It's like music.
Unless you're Cody Rhodes.
Unless it's adrenaline.
It's Shakespeare. It's Shakespeare if you're Cody.
Adrenaline Rhodes. In my soul. Something Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think you nailed it. That's it. But Ospreay's definitely in there. Roman has to be in there. I'd argue.
All right, let's do a top 5.
I'd argue Punk has to be. I think Punk would have to be in the conversation. And I think. So I'll put
Ospreay, but wait, not in 2022 as much. I feel like it started like waning.
What about Bryan Danielson?
Punk. I would say I would put him somewhere. He's just, I would just because of his skills. And he does have a lot of popularity. But he's not as large as Cody or Roman. Or if you're, again, that's where the criteria.
It's how do you quantify it? So it's like it's draw, it's quality of matches. I would think at some point it would have to be sort of amount of matches as well, because if you've had 2 matches in all of 2022 versus somebody who's had 20,
if you have 2 6-star matches, and does that negate 4 5-star matches, right? Or 6 5-star matches,
4-star matches.
Right. So it is hard. It is hard to quantify. I would argue, though, that in the world that Cody is talking about, he is talking about the WWE, right?
Yeah,
and I think
that's not what he's talking about. Cody is most definitely not talking about WWE.
It's their scapegoat to what?
Sure, it's their scapegoat, but Cody 100% when he says he believes he is the best wrestler in the world, he believes that he
does indeed believe that he is,
and that is in all of every company in the world. Is Jericho still in that contention?
Because of draw, I suppose he would have to be in the top 10.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this needs to be. I'm not saying we need to do it tonight, but it's something that we should work on, right? Is that we have probably like 3 different categories for every wrestler. We have their work rate and athleticism. We'll put those two kind of together, right?
Sure.
And then I would suppose like charisma and draw.
Charisma and promo. And
charisma promo.
Skills on the mic.
Draw needs to be in there, but also number of matches and quality of number matches, like
I think that would be sort of in work rate.
Yeah, quality of match would go. Yes, so what we need to do is then figure out a number system, maybe 1 through 10 for each one of those. We'll number.
We're doing
them.
One of these dumb tier lists.
I mean,
that's what's about to happen.
Probably what has to happen.
It's happening.
God damn it! All right, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
We'll do it. And we'll do it well. And we'll do it well. We'll have like We'll come up with a decent formula for it, right? And we'll all sort of like vote, get the average, and then we will be left with essentially who is the best wrestler in the world. Like according to the statistics.
We'll
put math into it.
We will make up a bullshit formula and then we will prescribe it to wrestlers.
Yes.
And we will set the wrestling world on fire.
Thank you, Duncan, for making that a lot clearer than me. Moving on.
No wrestling algorithm.
That's right.
Moving on, and fuck you, Meltzer. We've got our own thing.
That's right. The 3 of us equal 1 Meltzer. God damn it.
God damn it. Whatever. It's the Ohno wrestling, measure, I suppose, is what it'll be.
We'll have to come up with a better name than that.
Yeah, better name than that. But we're workshopping.
We'll get it out.
Yeah, don't send that to yourself in the mail just yet.
So I can't claim to have also Cody related, by the way. I can't claim to have come up with this, but when I saw it, I sent it to Duncan, and I do think
Ohno wrestling.
And I do think that it warrants a little bit of conversation. Should say Cody eventually beat Roman Reigns for the big one, the unified title, which apparently is a thing. The Universal Unified WWE, whatever they're calling it, right? Like that belt that now Roman will have, even though he has 2 belts, and that doesn't make any sense. Okay, when Cody wins the thing, should he bring back, if it's a unified title, the Winged Eagle belt or the big gold belt even? I think if you were to bring back the Winged Eagle belt, like Cody brought back the old IC title back in the day, if he were to do the same thing with the Winged Eagle belt.
I had such a Mandela effect with that, by the way, with the whole white strap IC thing. Because I remember it being a black strap like my entire life.
And I remember us having this conversation, and like I was too scared to call you wrong, but like I remember.
I don't think it's wrong. It's like
it exists with the black strap, very much so, very much so. But I think the white strap is the one people remember the most.
And see, like for me, it's definitely not, because I remember the black strap being the one that Savage had and the one that Steamboat had, and then the one that like that was the one in the ladder match. It was a black
Warrior
strap.
Have it in white or black?
Warrior had it in multiple colors.
Well, yeah.
Warrior,
because he's
so
Warrior.
I think I think it was white for Warrior. That's probably what it was.
I think he might have been the first.
He might have.
I don't know.
The first time I remember seeing a colored strap other than black was Warrior.
Oh, dude, that yellow one.
Yeah.
Was it the IC that was the yellow one, or was that the world title?
Because
no, the world title, because he had the, what was it, like that tealish thing for the world one.
He had a blue and a purple.
Yeah.
I'm looking this up.
Would you be into him bringing back the Winged Eagle, Matthew?
I was like, you already know my feelings on it.
I mean, we're both into it. Like, I don't think it'll ever happen. I don't think it'll ever happen, by the way, because and we all know why, because they have a belt now that has their fucking logo big as shit on it, and they can plaster it everywhere on, football teams, and it's just it's a marketing masterpiece. But that's probably why.
But that doesn't
mean. But
that also doesn't mean that they wouldn't, because they can keep giving out the new logo one to those whomever for whatever. But I think storyline wise, well, also you're gonna have to do a belt split.
You're gonna have to.
I just don't see how long you can have one championship.
Well, and it's interesting because it's something I also want to talk about, and that's sort of that whole belt, the unification of belts, what belts should stay, what belts should go. That's been a big topic, this last couple of weeks. We obviously have the Usos going in, to try and take the belts off of RK Bro on Raw. Is it a case of, do we unify? I would say there's a good argument to be made by unifying some but not all. I think that realistically, the ones for now, they need to eventually split. But would you mind, with the lack of tag teams in WWE, would you mind having just one set of men's tag team championships that floated between two brands? Because I think that would be fine.
I think that as long as we're not putting the premium on tag team wrestling that they need to put on tag team wrestling, then what's the point of having two?
Then because there's maybe 3 teams on each brand. Whereas if you unified those, you could at least have a strong a pretty strong division in places that you can go.
That's what they do with the women's, right?
Well, the women's you can make an argument that the women's, I would say, would be cooler if it was unified with the NXT women's, and but that they could then use that as a tool to get women up to the main roster.
Yeah, absolutely.
They could use that as a tool to get more star power down to NXT. I would say that this would have been a bad idea pre NXT 2.0, but now it makes complete sense to unify those belts and to have them kind of just function as a 3-brand thing.
Have you seen the new NXT belts and how
rainbow
they are?
I like them. I wanted to hate them. I like the women's way more than the men's. The women's is way more subtle. I don't know, it's an iridescent type of paint,
almost like a pearlescent.
And or whatever that is, whatever they did with it, it looks really cool, fits with the brand, and it's not too gaudy, which we all assumed they would be.
Right.
They still look like great belts, and the men's is a little colory. For me, it's a different type of thing. I can't describe the men's quite well, but.
Well, it's like the women's, the color goes one way, and then the men's, the color goes the other way. So it looks a little like your eye is thrown.
Maybe that's it.
That's what I noticed anyway.
Right. But I like them.
So, yeah, I like them too. I think they're, I don't know. What do we do with, I think we should leave the US and the IC titles split.
I think that one of them
now Theory's got one, so they
right.
Fuck off.
Balor dropped it. Yeah.
Here's what I.
The only thing,
IC title stays exactly the way it is, but it can go between brands. U.S. title merges with the North American title and can go to NXT. And then you've got, so it's almost a stepping stone belt.
Man, we are going to have a weird Pepe Sylvia board of where the belts can go and where they can't go.
It's not that complicated. You imagine?
And which belts are unified with which belts. And...
Yeah, exactly. And like, it's just, WWE trying to explain this is just going to be like way more complicated than it needs to be.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, Intercontinental has the prestige that it should be, I think, on like the main roster mid-card belt. That whoever has it can go between brands, and just like the main title, if it's this unified
But we're
belt.
doing too much like brand crossing to still have a brand split.
Oh, I think, well, that begs the question.
Yeah.
Should we just do away with the brand split?
They're not going to, as long as they're on USA and Fox separately.
But they're so willy-nilly with it right now anyway. What does it matter? You say you have this brand split, but when anybody can go back and forth, you really don't like have to. Like, you can kind of do whatever you want. It's the wild card.
Kind of getting into that territory, but I just don't think. I think you're going to get either Raw or SmackDown being the show, and the other show is going to be a recap. You're going to get even less for fucking wrestling than you do now.
Which it was that way. It totally was that way before this last brand.
Exactly.
Split.
I think, I think that we're giving fucking creative and the writers and producers too much of an out by saying, let's let you, if you got these titles, you can. It's like, because you can't tell fucking good stories with the wrestlers and storytelling that you have to open it up to another side of this to actually kind of try and make it interesting.
It's like
because now you're only writing for one show, really.
Yeah, so it's just like, all right, so we got the Lord of the Rings universe here, and we've decided that we've run out of stories to tell with the Lord of the Rings universe. So fuck, what are we gonna do? You know what? We're gonna open up the Harry Potter universe, bring that in here. Now we can tell all these other stories that we couldn't tell. And it's just like, it's cheap.
It is cheap, but I can see it realistic. I can see it happening, and I feel like,
yeah, but like, whether you can see it happening, you asked if we wanted to see it happen.
Yeah, and I don't.
No, I don't at all.
No.
And like, I think that as long as we keep being resigned to saying, well, they're gonna do whatever they're gonna do, and I can see it happen. Like, fuck that.
No,
stop putting. Yeah, like, I'm not putting that evil out into the universe anymore. Fuck them. Don't merge the goddamn titles anymore. It's a stupid idea.
I agree. I think that they should have. I'm willing to let it play out a little bit, because I do think we're going to get a belt redesign of some form, but I think we're going to get two of those eventually. Like, I think this is just for Roman, and this is it literally won't last that long. Like, I think I think this is like a blip in the time. We might have a year of it, but I don't think this is forever. Like, I still think they will.
How long do you think Roman's gonna have the fucking title?
I still don't think he carries it all the way through Mania next year. I think
the longer it goes,
I think he's gonna lose it to the Money in the Bank winner. And I think that will probably, which is late down the line. But I also think that Roman will win it back. I mean, he doesn't really have to. If it's the Bloodline feud, I've said this before, if it's the Bloodline feud, you don't need the belt on Roman to do that.
No, you don't.
So you can have Cody Rhodes go into Mania next year with that belt.
I think we're just ignoring the obvious. That Roman is going to keep the title for a very long time to break multiple records to establish him as the greatest ever. Like, we could be looking at 5+ years of Roman with that title.
I can't see it. I
Motherfucker, look, I said that, and every time I'm like, this is the time he's going to lose it. He's not going to lose it. He's not going to lose it. They're going to end up splitting the titles for one for Raw, one for SmackDown. That's how Cody will end up with it.
You don't see Cody defeating Roman Reigns for a championship is kind of what you're saying.
I don't see anybody defeating Roman Reigns. Nobody on the roster currently defeats Roman Reigns.
So how do they do that? How do they get
wait till he gets injured and has to drop it?
Correct.
Drop him. Either that or he's gonna do something. They're gonna do something stupid and not epic. Like he's gonna get frustrated with some people or something and be like, you know what? I don't even want this anymore. Fucking take that one.
I think
like,
they're,
or something.
Yeah.
I got a hot take on Roman, actually. I think they're already in the process of turning him face. You see that?
But
you see that very sort of like, I would consider this almost guerrilla marketing thing that they did at a recent house show where Roman took the mic after a match and was basically cut a face promo thanking the fans and straight up says, don't put this on social media, and gets cheered relentlessly after beating Drew. And I think that we're going to see a Roman full face turn in sooner than you think. And I think that they think that he will lose that belt. But I think I'm going to go the other way. I think that he's going to lose it sooner rather than later and win it again in time, probably for Mania next year.
I think that at this point in the game, they will, because now it's a new title, right? Like now it's the unified, undisputed double jerk off title.
Yeah, does that start a new?
A new lineage, like a combined lineage, or a new lineage.
It'll in
combined
the family tree of belts,
go blip blip, and then go to like its other. Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
Exactly. So for however long he has it, he's the first one. He'll have it for X amount of time, right?
Yeah. Do they just create another belt out of the blue, or do they like? They
could bring one of the other titles back.
Is that when you just bring the winged eagle back? Like,
at that point, I would say yes.
Just Triple H and Vince just give Cody that and like, go have fun, kid.
At some point, it becomes, well, Roman is too dominant. We have to create another title for him while he just sits over here and has random Samoans jerk him off. I don't know.
I am worried though, like, because I really am struggling with how you do that. How you at this point, like, I feel like they dug themselves a hole. Right? Like, and I don't know that they have a back out plan because they're famous for doing this. They do this all the time. They fuck us. Like, they decided they're going to do something and like not thinking like, well, guys, if you do that, like, how are you going to?
You got to do that. You got to do this. And how do we get back from that?
Like, I am struggling to find any like kayfabe storyline scenario where they can justify breaking the belts apart again now without Roman losing. Like, that would literally be the only way to do it.
Dude,
I don't get it. I don't know. Like, does Roman get involved in a 3-way match with Cody, Brock, Roman, and there's some weird double pin, and Cody and Brock both pin Roman? And then they're like, well, we're both champions now. And then they split the belt. I'm sorry. That was the only thing I could think.
No, I know.
But it's
like,
that is so WWE.
You're thinking like a WWE writer, and
yes,
that's why I hate it.
Yeah.
Can't come up with anything else.
Matthew, what do you...
You're probably not wrong.
Can't come up with anything else.
Certainly.
I don't know.
Oh, God.
They have dug themselves into a corner with this. I mean, unless there is some brilliant plan, which I'm very suspicious that there's not one.
The only hope I have is that Paul Heyman is involved, and that Paul is smart enough to have some sort of like emergency break glass like thing. I don't know.
That's the thing, is like, who is their emergency break glass?
I don't know.
Cena?
No one. Yeah, Cena.
Cena's already jobbed to Roman plenty of times. Like,
yeah.
We already had a summer of Cena too.
Yeah. That was a
or
big
maybe every
letdown.
summer is the summer of Cena. Yeah, it was a letdown, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm like, summer of Cena goes out to Roman, duh.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's frustrating too, because it's like you had me in the first half with the Roman thing, right? We've now reached a point of just boredom with it. For me,
I said that a couple of podcasts ago.
Yeah.
I think maybe the one you missed or when you came on a little bit, but yeah, I was like, it's getting boring.
I still think it's good. And I'm growing I think I'm the last one in the line of the three of us, right? And I'm still holding on that there might be I do want to see the bloodline with all the belts just for the visual. Like, I do want to see them if they can tell me a little bit more of this story, then I think I'm gonna buy in, and I think a lot of other people will. That's why I don't know that I'm done with it yet.
They should have Paul, if they do that, they should have Paul Heyman win the 24/7 championship.
It'll happen. It'll happen.
I don't know. And then okay, the bloodline has all the belts.
I'd like to see someone else get pulled into the bloodline. I think Solo. I think you need to do that.
Now what?
You build a star.
Bring somebody else in.
You bring him. He's good. He's close.
Okay.
He's close
so
to ready.
What? So
this is it. This is it. This is how we find out The Rock is buying WWE. He gets all the belts through the Samoans, and then we're not calling it. It's like, oh, it's the Bloodline Network or the Bloodline Show or something, because you have to be Samoan basically to wrestle.
Oh, it's all Samoan wrestling. All Samoan wrestling.
ASW.
Yeah. ASW. It's
so
probably be really good. Real,
you put all the gold on the bloodline. You bring whoever into the bloodline, right? Then what?
It is tough. It is tough. It's digging the hole deeper, I suppose.
That is legitimately, yeah. Like that's taking the backhoe. That's taking the front end loader from the boneyard match.
That seems like the direction that they're going. So,
yeah, but okay, we can see the direction that they're going, but then let's play chess and not checkers and start thinking other moves down the road, which they're not doing.
Here's what I think might happen too. I think we could have some Randy Orton shit in this.
Randy Orton joins the bloodline.
No. I mean, Riddle's.
I can see Randy take a title off him.
I can see Randy taking a title off him. He might be one of the only guys left that can do it.
Yeah.
And he's fucking over as a face right now. He's killing it with Riddle. You keep Riddle by his side. You don't split him. You have this Usos interaction with RK Bro trying to steal their belts, basically provoke Randy into saying, fuck you, Roman. What you doing coming over here telling these boys, we beat them and we'll beat you. And I want that belt. That big, huge unification belt. And can't believe I'm saying this. Fuck yes. Have Randy Orton beat Roman Reigns for this unification title.
14?
I'm more for that than anything else we've discussed in the last 10, 15 minutes.
Honestly, same. I would rather, and then I could see Randy.
That I'm more excited about than anything. Yeah. And not to say, I will say that I loved that Roman stuff leading up to all of this and everything. It's just now gotten stale to me, but I won't ever diminish that run he just went on, right?
Right.
He did it. He held, and it was great for him.
Gonna tell you this
it had
too.
Me. Yeah.
I figured this one out, I think, with the Randy Orton thing, because Randy Orton Cody is gonna be is the feud, and it will be long, and they will go back and forth, and it will be pretty much epic. That would be an epic feud.
That's
for all
great.
A legacy feud. That's where Cody culminates it with beating Randy Orton.
Because that'll be Randy at 14 world titles?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's dead on, yeah. Fucking A, man.
Honestly, if Cena doesn't break Flair's record, Orton will.
I think Orton might be the guy. I think actually Orton might be the guy. And never would have said that a few years ago. Boy, oh boy, have my opinions changed on him. And
it's nice that wrestling can do that. You can change your opinion.
It really is. Right. It really is. And I see him as of course he has some really shitty stuff in his past. Literally.
Yeah, he's a total prick. But...
Yeah. But no, I really think he's like made efforts to not be a total prick, like
especially in the locker room.
Yeah. And he's done well. He's done well for himself. I will say.
Did you all see that Evil series?
I did, and I saw the one on him, and it was
on him.
Yeah.
Okay, I watched it. I was actually entertained. And like he did kind of like, obviously he can't talk about everything, but like some of this, he at least said like, yeah, I was a little bit of an ass and jackass and dick back in the day. Like he definitely
straight up says
it.
Like I fucked up. I was my own worst enemy. Like I was.
Yeah, for him to go from that to where he is now, it's kind of amazing.
And I never gave him enough credit in the ring either, or with his character and his facial expressions. Yeah. And like he is very good at the role that he plays. Some of his matches can be a little boring, but I can see that now when he gets excited and he is loving this run with Riddle.
That's the thing.
And he's putting more into his matches. His matches are more dynamic. Weirdly, Randy Orton is better as a face than he is as a heel.
Well,
when you can tell
as
someone's
face.
loving, better as this, but like when you can tell that someone is like really loving what they're doing at that moment, like you can tell, and he can still go like to Stone Cold Killer or whatever, and have that, but you can still see how much he's liking it. Like you're saying, he's putting that more into the character, into the facial expressions, into the matches. Like you knew he could do these things, right? But now he's giving it just a little bit more oomph, right?
When now, because we've seen this different side of him, when now we see him kind of turn back into that Stone Cold Killer, it will actually resonate with us, because that's all we sort of saw with Randy Orton for like a good number of years, was just like this same kind of just like the look and the thing, right? But now when he
apex predator,
now that we've seen this other kind of, I guess, lighter side of him, when he goes back to doing that and gets real dark with Roman, it's more believable that this guy's like in the zone, because it's that that switching it up. I got to give him all the credit in the world, and that whole. I really do think that could be like a legacy feud with Orton and Cody. Like it just feels like the right way to do it to me. Like it
does. It feels much better to me than a Roman Cody match.
Yep. And I still don't think optics wise WWE would want their biggest guy beaten by the guy that left, went around, got popular, AEW, all the added attention, to come back and beat their biggest guy. They have to have a WWE guy beat Roman, so Roman's, before Cody can get it. Like that,
because Randy is also established enough as a legacy.
I think he's the only guy they got in that way. Really, he's the only guy that they got.
Yep.
Have you
seen Cena?
Have you seen the discourse of the royal family debate? Cody song. I know it's another Cody cast, but Kingdom and all that. And at the beginning, before the music starts, there's the line, right? Wrestling has.
There's always been more than one royal family of professional wrestling.
Yeah. That whatever that. The line is like there's more than one royal family, right? And there are people that are now like really getting into discourse about this. So it's like, so what does he mean there? And for me, I'll ask you guys, but I always took it as this was a hit at the McMahons, including Triple H. How did you guys feel? Like about
that was how I always took it.
Do you always take it like that, right? Like especially with the throne and all that. Like I always thought it was pretty specific to, like, especially because he didn't. Was he? I mean, he was using that song on the Indies before he went to AEW.
Yeah.
Before AEW started.
Yeah, he started using that song
when he left WWE.
Yeah.
So, I also didn't see a ton of that, like in like certain matches or whatever. But I never really paid attention to that, I suppose. because Cody the character hadn't been like really formed in my head yet. Like we didn't really know that. So I really only paid attention to the wrestling has more than one royal family thing when AEW began.
Right.
And I felt like it was sort of that I could be, I mean, I feel like I am kind of wrong in a sense because I'm saying that by him kind of taking a dig at the McMahons, wrestling has more than one royal family, he's also sort of like implying another company, another alternative in the sense, right?
See, I took that to be, it's like, yeah, it's a slight against the McMahons because the Rhodes family is equally as royal of a family in the world of professional wrestling.
Well, and yeah,
the Von Erichs, like he's saying that, like that's why it's like there's always been more than one royal family.
I never really thought of it like that, but like, and that's what some of the arguments online I'm seeing are, right? It's exactly what you're making a great point of. Is I just blindly thought like, well, that's just a dig about the McMahons, but yeah, then you look deeper. You mentioned the Von Erichs. Let's think about how many wrestling families are out there, right? Like that are you would consider up in that echelon. You got the Harts, the
Hart family that like they're literally called the Hart Dynasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say you've
the whole Rikishi, all the Samoans, the bloodline, really, like
yeah. Like that's the thing is there's been more than and that's, I never really thought of it as like, it's not a dig at the company. It's more like, and if you listen to, unfortunately, I've gotten high and listened to those lyrics of that badass. By badass, I mean terrible ass.
I've been reading them for the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, like if you read the lyrics, it's like it is sort of speaking like a professional wrestler and like listening to the lessons that his.
That's all it is. As my father said, when I was younger, hard times breed better men. Took it all away.
He wrote those lyrics, right? He had to have written. He had to have written.
Dude, it's a band called Downstate.
I hope he did. I hope there's a journal somewhere with these written in it with like flames and a little belt drawn.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
His original sketch of his neck tattoo, the Nightmare Family logo.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Which is just nothing but polka dots.
Yeah, but this line, you took my dreams, but not my name.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it ties into the Rhodes, Runnels, and the whole the thing that I think, remember there was that whole thing with Cody when he first left. He was only just he couldn't use Cody Rhodes, and he had to he ended up winning, of course. He won that case. But I think I heard from Talk is Jericho that he had his like trademark lawyer on about that one. And the way that Cody got that, like the actual name, is because he used it in a pro wrestling match like when he was like 19 once, and it was advertised in a paper and he could prove it. And it was basically like, yeah, no, I got that. Like so he was able to win that case. Maybe he's saying something about that, like, because that came after, right? That was like 2 years into AEW, like, or a year and a half into AEW. It was you know, when he won that. So maybe that song is referencing some of that. You didn't take my name, and maybe he knew. I don't know.
No, I mean, I think there's actually a whole lot to that. Also,
it's this is a very self-indulgent song, by the way.
Oh my God,
I'm almost positive he wrote these lyrics.
Of course he did.
The whole like, I built my kingdom, now you bow to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. You'll follow me until the end. I am my kingdom.
Oh Jesus.
Wow. It's
Like,
can't take it.
Go down,
can't take my freedom. Here to change the
else.
game. A banner made of pain.
A banner made of pain.
That's what's on his neck. That's a banner made of pain.
That's right.
Yeah.
Neck tattoo.
There's footage somewhere somewhere of Cody in the studio the first time he's hearing it, and like he's like
no, you need to put a little more emphasis on pain.
Yeah.
Be like, no, I am the kingdom, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And those whoa-wows, bigger. We need that. We need more
gangbang vocals. Get in there, everybody in there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Punk rock harmonies.
So I wanted to play this on the show. I sent this to Duncan the other night.
Oh, is it the Kingdom song?
No. It's
this is a Cody.
You want me to pull it
right?
up? Because I can.
Oh, well, no, I was going to play the Dalton Castle.
You weren't going to play Kingdom for all of us.
No, not tonight.
Damn
not
it.
Tonight. No,
you know what?
No.
It's all right. Just watch a Raw. You're bound to hear it like 3 or 4 times.
Seriously.
Yeah, and it will wear off. So I'll set this up. I gotta.
First of all, like I'm gonna go out on like I popped hard for it, but I still hate the goddamn song.
The new entrance though last night made me boner up again. I like the song again, so I like it.
No.
I like it. I like it for about 20 seconds, and then I hate it. And like
I'm still not impressed. I'm impressed by his wrestling, like I always have been.
Yeah.
The whole thing, and it's not because it's not
doing it for you, huh? I think it's doing a lot more for me than it is you.
Yeah,
maybe even
I mean,
Duncan.
his wrestling is great. I won't take anything away from that, but like the whole I think they're blowing the load real quick, because having him show up and doing entrances multiple times a night and like things like it's gonna like, I don't know. I'm very just questionable about the whole thing, and like
I think it's okay to be reserved. I think it's okay to be reserved. I do think that they recognized that like they're nailing in that entrance, because a lot of those shows, like he's not going to be able to have the Cody Vader, but he wants something special. Remember they did that one show where he had they built a box on the stage.
Smoke, like haze,
well,
right?
no, it was cool though. Like he had a big, huge CO2 blast that was like
it was all haze.
It was a CO2 blast that he did, and it was with the haze. Like I actually kind of dug it. Like it wasn't the same as what he's done. It was something different. It was them experimenting with how could we still make this a special attraction without having the fucking elevator, basically.
Right.
And I thought they did a pretty good job of it. I think that like that's
whoever used the little box idea the first time.
Oh, that was terrible. Yeah. That guy's
fired.
no longer with the company.
What do you mean you don't want to just build a scaffold over here and use it for? No? Okay. Does that look stupid? It looks stupid?
It was the same guy that ran oh Jesus, what's his name? Dolph Ziggler, his tag team partner Glorious. What's the fuck his name? What's his name? Glorious. What's the guy?
Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode. Thank you. Sorry, had a brief hour. It's the same guy that designed Bobby Roode's entrance when he did the scissor lift that was going down all weird and jerky and slow. Like it's that guy. It's that guy. He's gone. But anyway, back over to what I was trying to set up is this. I found this video package just incredibly hilarious. I haven't stopped laughing. I've always been a sucker a bit for Dalton Castle. What about you guys?
Oh God, I love Dalton Castle.
He's
I really do.
Yeah, if you don't know him, he made his AEW debut, challenging Jonathan Gresham for the ROH title on AEW's Battle of the Belts 2, which was, to be honest, quite an underwhelming show. But this video package, I'm gonna play a little piece of it here. Dalton Castle cuts a small promo, very quick, on Jonathan Gresham, and it makes me just laugh. You all remember that pilot? They made a movie with Tom Hanks, Sully Sully Sullenberg.
Oh yeah.
Man, how could I forget?
Yeah. So
the masterpiece that was Sully.
Yeah. So the reference in this that Dalton uses is about Sully Sullenberg, the pilot that he was able to, there was a goose or something, right? There's a swan or a goose that flew into the engine after this plane took off, and then the Sully saved all the lives of all the people, and he landed the plane in the river in New York.
Yeah, in the Hudson River.
Yeah. So Dalton Castle references that in his upcoming match here. Oh my
God.
Jonathan Gresham.
Give it to me.
And it's one of my favorite things of all time. I'm gonna play this like 8 times, so don't worry. You'll get it. You'll get it. Here we go. So we got a little Jonathan Gresham first.
Champion. And tonight at AEW Battle of the Belts 2, Dalton Castle looks to dethrone me. Like many men in this industry, they want to be world champion, but unlike them, I am different. I need to be Ring of Honor world champion.
I am Sully Sullenberg, and Jonathan Gresham, you are a goose in my engine trying to bring me down, but I'm gonna land this.
Oh, you guys can't hear that?
No, I heard just
yeah, I hear it very little, but it's the same. Like I couldn't hear the intro either.
Oh, well, I'm probably using the wrong sound card for you guys, and you're just hearing me all weird. Let me see that. Of course,
let's see what happens.
Oh, look at that. That's 100% what's happening. Well, let's fix that. I'm gonna have to end the call. Hey, can we just? I gotta pee anyway. Do 5 minutes?
Sure.
Yeah, we'll take a 5-minute break. We'll be right back. Sorry about that. More for you guys than anything, but no, I don't care about the listeners. We'll talk some wrestling in just a few minutes. I'll get this Dalton Castle thing working, and it seems like I gotta restart my audio card because it disconnected. That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Unbelievable.
Unfucking believable. We'll be right back. We love you.
All right.
Woo.